All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm Barbara Coffey, Director of Economic Initiatives for the City of Tucson. This is our September edition of our monthly webinar series for small business, Connecting for Success. Today, we'll hear from our friends at Hownd for an update on the program that we partnered with them on early in the pandemic. The goal was to assist small businesses with building back their customer base in the wake of business closures, reduced hours, or reduced capacity, given all those challenges associated with COVID-19. Hownd has some new programs that you will hear about today. We will take your questions as we go, so feel free to enter those in the chat box or the Q&A function. We'll get to as many of those in our time together this afternoon as possible. We will keep all participants muted since we do have a large number of attendees, and we do record the session and make it available to you. And usually we'll have those up tomorrow afternoon. You can find links to all previous webinars at connecttucson.com. So we will get started, and note that we may have some other panelists joining us. So if you see a few more heads drop into our screens, you won't be surprised by that. We will hear, hopefully soon, from Eric Kioski-Smith, the Chief Growth Officer for Hownd Incorporated. He has been an entrepreneur, advisor, and conscious capitalist with 30 years of experience on both coasts and two continents, and he loves and calls Arizona home as well. Spent nearly 10 years of his career at Intel in Silicon Valley and in Europe during their growth phase, where he was lucky enough to help drive the $24 million launch and advertising campaign for the Pentium processor. He has two members of his team today, and you're going to hear from one of those to start us off. But Brian Hernandez is also here. And then we have the Chief Product Officer, John Garay. Like, hooray, I got that. And I'll have him introduce his team and himself and Brian as a member of his team as he kicks off his presentation today. So John, welcome.
Thank you very much, Barbara.
Well, I'm really excited to have you all here. There have been a number of merchants that have had some interaction with you all over the last several months, the past year. So just excited to have that update from you and tell us what's new. So I'll turn it over to you.
Sounds good. Thank you very much. And first of all, thank you, Barbara, for your leadership and helping us meet with all of the merchants and make great connections here over the past, has it been more than a year? Like, so 15 months or so?
Yes.
As we've all come together. It's been a great, I think, a great experience in helping a group of merchants in a metro area start to get a handle on driving those customer visits through the door. And it's been great to partner with the City of Tucson in making this happen.
Awesome. No, we appreciate you too. And just as another tidbit, you know, being a fellow Arizona business, we love growing our own and supporting our own. So that was also a great connection, and really watching what you had done in Tempe and areas in Maricopa County, I think helped us realize that there was a good opportunity here. So.
Awesome. Thank you. So as Barbara mentioned, I'm the Chief Product Officer of Hownd. My role here at the company is twofold. One is to look inside and work with their engineering team and build new things. And the other side is to listen to customers and hear what's going on in the marketplace so that we're doing the right things when it comes to product. And we definitely have been working on our product, enhancing it since we first started, and we have some other nice things to share here. Let me go ahead and share my screen because I do have a number of updates. Let me jump into here. I will turn it into presentation mode. And there we go. So again, I'm John Garay, right in the middle. Brian Hernandez is on the call with me. He's part of our growth team. And Eric is situating himself at an airport. And I'll be joining him in Houston in a few hours, but he should be jumping on here as we discussed. So as we mentioned, we've been doing a lot of work together over the last 15 months or so. We've been looking to strengthen the relationship, and part of today is about talking about where we've been already, but we also wanted to share with you some things about our Hownd Guest Wi-Fi, which is a great way to monetize the visitor traffic that you have. There have been some merchants in Tucson that have been already using Wi-Fi, and we'll share some of the numbers with you as that goes. And then and we'll wait for the end here, but there is a special arrangement that we've worked with the city of Tucson that should make Wi-Fi pretty compelling for you and your business. So stay tuned for that. So first of all, just wanted to go back on some of the results so far of working together. So revenue and coupon results, essentially looking at the direct revenue and the verified customer visits, there's been over $60,000 in total revenue directly attributable to the Hownd platform. That's included over 1,000 verified customer visits. I'll mention in a second, but our platform is a combination of a web-based platform for sending out promotions, and then a mobile app that is used for both discovering new promos and verifying attributable customer visits. And so when we say we have 1,000 verified visits, we know like who it was, when it was, where it was, all of that. So we know where the foot traffic is happening. So of that revenue, more than 36,000 of that was direct revenue through the buy nows on our platform. There was over 400 purchases. And when I was looking at some of the numbers, there were 2 merchants in particular that did really well. Reforma, Modern Mexican Mezcal and Tequila, did over $16,000 worth of gift cards through our platform. And then over $8,000 was for Proof Artisanal Pizza and Pasta. So those 2 merchants right there did a really good job. And I'll talk in just a moment about what the things that merchants can do to make sure that results like this can happen for more and more. On the coupon side, there were like 8,000 claimed coupons. By the way, each time somebody buys or redeems a coupon, the merchant gets the customer information. So it's a great way to build customer lists by having coupons out there. And of course, they lead to customer visits, which come through on our platform. More than 400 visits were at Caruso's Italian restaurant, and more than 75 visits to Tucson Stained Glass alone. So just a number of different merchants got engaged with our platform, and you can see some of the results here. As part of this effort, we also created a promo portal. We call it the Discover Tucson promo portal. On that portal, over the course of our work together, we've created over 2,400 unique promos, over 1,000 buy nows, over 1,200 coupons, and over 200 data collectors. So a lot of activity here about presenting different offers in front of consumers through the Hownd platform. This is kind of a sneak peek to what I'm going to be talking about a little here, but we already have a number of Tucson merchants on Hownd Wi-Fi, and I just took a peek today about their visitor traffic that we can see directly through the Wi-Fi data collection. There's been over 3,800 visits and over 1,400 unique emails. You can see the different merchants here in Tucson, and how many visits they've recorded and how many unique emails that they've collected. So for example, Raleigh's Mexican Patio has collected over 700 different consumer emails. Again, customer lists are such an important way of understanding who your customers are and then reaching out to them to get them coming back again. And here's a key to success. When I look through merchants and the merchant list for Tucson, a key thing stood out for those that did well on our platform, and that's engagement. Some merchants signed up, but then it didn't go a lot further with that. We try to reach out, we try to get that engagement to happen, but ultimately we need your help. And getting engaged at the basic level just means we need your permission to run buy nows and coupons on your behalf. Like, what are you willing to do? Just letting us know through our offerings is a quick key way to make that happen. Getting a website pop-up installed. This is a key way to convert browsers that may have just jumped over to your website to get them collected, get them enticed with a promo so that they'll come through your door. If you have a customer list, getting it uploaded is another key way for us to just keep them coming back more and more. And then another sneak peek at what we'll be talking about here is Hownd Wi-Fi is a great way to start building your customer list. So I saw something everywhere. Okay, that's just from you, Barbara. Any other questions or comments at this point?
I think we're okay still. Yeah, keep rolling.
All right. So the Hownd platform, just wanted to give a quick overview of what the Hownd platform is. It's all about providing different channels and different ways for you to reach nearby consumers. Some of those are going to be your existing consumers, getting them engaged more, getting them coming back more often. In the basic level, it means understanding who they are. In the food and beverage space in particular, we know it can be really hard to understand who your customers are. So our platform helps to collect that. Then it's all about reaching consumers through different formats. Sometimes it's through the promo portal, like I mentioned, the Discover Tucson promo portal. Other times it's via email. Other times it's through the mobile app. And it's all about reaching them with your particular offers and helping them understand the value and enticing them to make that action, to claim it, so that you can A, get their customer information, and B, get them through your door. And I mentioned a lot of changes, a lot of development here at Hownd. This was back in June, released a brand new format for our landing pages. This is what they look like. So it's from our perspective, it's an updated format, and it's a new foundation that we're adding lots of new features for. In a few to share here and more coming soon. So for example, one thing we just added, this was within the last month, is the ability when somebody purchases something on our platform, they can send it to arrive to the recipient at a later date. What's key there are things like buying a gift card for a friend, buying a gift card, a Mother's Day card for your mother or your mother-in-law, providing a way to do that when you're thinking about it, and then have it arrive on that special day is now a function that we have within all of our landing pages. Another thing that we've just added, it's actually going to be made public, but here's again a sneak peek for you, is what we're calling buy one, get one. And the ability to not just have a BOGO offer or something where they buy $100, get a $20 gift card, a bonus card, but the ability to break those into pieces that can each be redeemed separately. So if you do a buy one, get one, you can have two different times that they redeem, the consumer redeems. What that's all about is making it very easy for you and your teams when if you want to offer something that's more than one, or like first visit, second visit, you now have a way to redeem them completely on the Hownd platform and not have to keep track of it separately. And as I mentioned, it's all about then distributing the promos across all of the different platforms and channels that are supported on our within the Hownd platform. So I kind of put a funny name on this one, the Mysterious Visitor Challenge, because this is where we start with the challenge that we know and we hear from merchants about understanding your customer. Customers, if they're coming in for dinner or lunch or coming in for some other reason to your store, you don't always know who they are. And so understanding that becomes key. So the challenge is unknown customers, and only a fraction of those who come leave any trace. Even if they make a purchase, you don't always get their name, their email address, that sort of thing. So understanding how to reach those customers is a major challenge. That's what we've been hearing from more and more merchants. And without understanding who they are, the challenge becomes there's no way to bring them back. Without the contact data, merchants have no cost-effective way to re-engage. And then that relationship doesn't get prodded along. Hopefully they'll come back, but the statistics from the industry are about 60% of customers through most local brick and mortar, they come once and then they move around and do other stuff. So the key becomes bringing them back. So just to kind of talk about some of the ways that we've seen out there, and I think we've all seen it from the other side, different ways that businesses try to collect information about their customers. Business card, fish bowls, putting the things in there, and then doing a drawing for like a free $20 gift certificate for a lunch or something. You get a lot of cards. They're out there in public for everyone to see, and somebody has to enter them into another system. So that one's kind of tougher. And it's also good for business info, but business info isn't always great for the consumer side. Getting contact cards, these are classics here. When I was growing up, I remember you had to put all the different letters in the right boxes. But that's how some merchants have, over the years, tried to gather information about their consumers. It's just not clean this way either. Another one is just website signups. Just, hey, sign up for a newsletter. But when it comes down to it, is that really interesting to a consumer? It's like, okay, I'm busy, I'm surfing around. And then, okay, why again am I signing up? And so this is a way, and it's more modern, but it's not a key way to do it. So when it comes down to it, and we work across what we call the fun, yum, and zen businesses, health and beauty, family entertainment, and food and beverage. Some historically are better at understanding the customer than others. Health and beauty, as you can imagine, if you keep going back to the same place, they know who you are, they know your name, they might know your phone number so that they can text you about your appointments and stuff. Family entertainment, they tend to get it around kids' birthdays, but not just the casual visitors coming in. And then food and beverage and general retail, this is where it's just tough to get information about your customers. That's what we've been hearing as we interact with all the merchants on the Hownd platform. And so this is a problem, me on the product side, it's always about understanding the market problems and the market needs, and then trying to figure out the best way to solve. In the end, what merchants need is a way to collect the information, to get them understand who they are, and then get them coming back. Ideally, it would be a system that once they've entered information, it does stuff automatically after that. So it's not just about getting information, but having a system that automatically sends what we call a bounce back promo, something that brings the customers coming back for their next visit. And then flowing into other systems easily as well, so that they can be used for other outbound marketing efforts. Any questions so far? Is this something that all of you have seen or felt, just understanding who your customers are?
great. You know, I did want to recognize that Peggy Ward joined us. She's with Nature Spa. And I thought since this is maybe a good moment to just pause for a second, because I know Peggy's been one of like the 170 or so merchants that we've had interact and engage on the Hownd platform as merchants. And Peggy, you might have missed some of the opening statistics that John was sharing, but they were impressive. I was interested to see, because I only see the data, aggregate data, but I think there were a few merchants that really have excelled in how they have used the My Hownd app and the platform. So Peggy, if you'd like to say hello and turn your video on, that'd be great. And maybe just share your thoughts with your experience so far, or any questions you might have for John, even as an active user. Welcome. And I'll make sure you're unmuted, because, or I'll do this, I'll ask to unmute. Did that work? You might have to unmute yourself, Peggy.
Right there.
There you are. Fantastic. So thanks for taking a minute. So
Thank you.
how has it been for you with Hownd?
We do get traffic from there, but not like very much, but it's quite consistent though. We have traffic coming from Hownd. And we just recently changed the promotion package. I mean, the special. And since then, it's quiet down. Maybe we just try it. We would come up with different things. Maybe this is not popular, but we still want it to run at least for a month or two and see how it goes. Then we would offer different package.
That's great. No, and it certainly is something new. And as with everything, there's a learning curve on the side of the business as well as the consumer. Yes. And I think, and that's where I think John and the team, Brian is here today as well, to, you know, again, help you figure out how to maximize some of these opportunities. He's already given us some really good thoughts about, you know, it's like with anything, it's only as good as how we use, you know, we can have a piece of software or a program, but we have to figure out how to make it work for us. I liked hearing about some of the email marketing. I think that's really one of the key things that John was focusing in on, that capturing that merchant list, even if someone claims a coupon, you know, again, that's a name that can go into a database where you can then send out follow-up messages. And John, it sounds like there's some automated ways to do that marketing, or, you know, like it's not that difficult for the business. Can you describe that?
Yeah, sure. So hello, Peggy. Thanks for being part of the Hownd platform. Yeah, definitely what's key with our platform is that it's meant to be automated. As we're discussing, you create the permissions around the promos. And so it all depends upon what those promos and offers are. But once a consumer joins the platform, either by being uploaded as part of your existing customer list, or coming in via coupon claim, a purchase, Wi-Fi, one of our data collectors on a website pop-up, that's where our system can then run with it, so that when you have new promos, those new consumers are automatically added to the list. And as I was mentioning with the bounce back promos, that is another key way that the system automates the reach out. Another way that we automate is around key dates, things like anniversaries, birthdays, kids' birthdays. With our data collectors, we do ask for those key dates from consumers. And then if the consumer provides that, you can create special promos that are for the special day. And our system will send out 60 days ahead, 45 days ahead, that sort of thing. They're the invites or the special promo. So one key way to do that would be around like a birthday party for a family entertainment center, and an anniversary dinner at a restaurant, or a treat yourself on your birthday type of thing. So a whole bunch of automated things that our platform handles once we have that consumer data.
I think that's awesome. And there may be a few others in our audience that have experience with the Hownd platform. So, because I recognize a couple of names, but it's been exciting. And again, when we were looking for ways to just amp up the communications, the marketing efforts in a time that was pretty critical, it seemed like a good opportunity, right? And to have sort of a no risk. I mean, John, I think that's the key, right? There's been a no risk opportunity at the moment while the city has been able to sort of support the and take on the transactional fees. Is that the way you see it? And then what happens after that?
Sure. So yes, definitely it's been a partnership here with the city of Tucson during the pandemic and helping with all of that. Our platform, our pricing model in general is focused around that zero risk model, where we want to align our objectives with your objectives, so that when it comes down to it, if it works for you, great. That's where we get paid. But if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work for us either. So it's all about aligning with what the merchant, the goals of the merchants are, and then working together to make that happen. Going forward, we are looking at pricing models and different ways to make that even more and more aligned with merchants. So stay tuned for more on that. But yeah, it's all about aligning with the merchants and doing the things that work for merchants. For example, when somebody makes a purchase on our platform, you, the merchant, get the payment from the consumer 2 or 3 days later directly. With other platforms that are out there, I'll just call them group buying platforms, you only get paid as the merchant once a consumer visits. And one of the key statistics that's out there is approximately 15 to 20% of gift cards that are purchased are never redeemed. On our platform, for example, that's your money, you get it. With other well-known platforms out there, they keep the money if the consumer never visits. So it's all about alignment and helping merchants.
I think that's key. And again, the same thing with the coupons, unless again, you're not asking for an advertising or a marketing fee up front. The merchant is paid when the transaction happens. If I go and claim my coupon at the barbecue place at the point at which I'm enjoying my barbecue and have redeemed a coupon, that's when it happens, right? Like the transactional fee. What's great about it right now is that for the city of Tucson and our partnership, there's no transactional fees. So that's even better. So I'll let you keep rolling on, John.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So let me go back. So it's all about being able to attract and bring back and automatically flow those visitor data of the people that are coming through your doors that you don't necessarily know who they are today. And that's why we talk all about Hownd Wi-Fi, and a key benefit it has is to monetize your visitor traffic. So with Hownd Wi-Fi, what we can do is essentially, if you have internet at your location, we essentially plug into it and offer free guest Wi-Fi to your visitors. And then what happens is if the visitor logs in, they share their information, their email address, their name, that sort of thing. And then they get access to the Wi-Fi. What you get is access to who they are, so that you can do all those other things we were just talking about. This is one I know Eric likes in particular, is no more where's the password. You know, when people come into your location, is like, do you guys have Wi-Fi? Like, what's the password? All that kind of stuff. It's just simple. Consumers use their own email address and they're on, which is very simple and works for everybody here. To make sure here, just this one's one of the just overview of it. It's all a closed access. There's audit records for record keeping. There's actually limits that we can put on individual users, that they can only use a certain amount of data. You can put limits on time of day of when your Wi-Fi is open for people to log in, so that you have all kinds of control and security around these access points in the free guest Wi-Fi. Another cool thing that I wanted to mention is just, we're not into selling consumer data. Other companies have that as part of their business model. We know in today's world, consumers are leery of that. There are regulations in multiple states and we comply with all privacy, all confidentiality regulations. And the other cool thing about our platform, and I mentioned this before about buy nows flowing directly to merchants, is in our model, when a consumer logs into your Wi-Fi, you get their data. In other models that are out there, that is not the model. They keep a hold. They might do marketing for the merchant, but they keep the customer data themselves. So as I mentioned, there's access points that can be provided if you do not have them today. If you do already have access points, we can work with many of the common brands where we just add in the Hownd Wi-Fi, which then flows into this, the login screen where the consumer provides info. And then our platform, as I mentioned before, can lead to these automatic bounce back promos as well. It's all about customer lists and building them. I think I've kind of mentioned this. There's usually a trade-off that happens when you ask consumers for info. If you ask for email, the minimal, you'll get more of them. If you start asking other things like their name, their phone number, their birthdays, sometimes we hear merchants ask us to put all of it and make it required. The trade-off is consumers will say, hey, it's not worth it, and bounce away. So some combination of email plus some of the other fields, sometimes optional, is the key way to learn more about your customers. So free Wi-Fi, this goes back to the why offer it at all. 62% of merchants who do have free Wi-Fi say consumers spend more time, and half say that consumers spend more money. And again, 100% of merchants with the Hownd Wi-Fi get their consumer details. So those numbers I mentioned before, those were about hundreds and hundreds of customers added to different Tucson merchant customer lists, is just very valuable. This is an overall number here of some of the other merchants. And just to kind of set expectations, what we have found is that a typical merchant using our Wi-Fi collects about 9 contacts per day. You might say, that's 9, but wait a minute, 9 times, that's 300 a month, which turns into a good amount per year. And then it just snowballs. You just keep building on that. And some of the busier locations, the larger locations, are ones that just have a lot of traffic. They can grab 9,000 plus per year. It's a great way to build your customer list. The other thing, and I do intend to write a blog article about this, is the idea of hiring. As all of you have probably experienced, it's kind of hard to hire people. So sometimes the demand is there, but the supply of employees isn't. So one thing some of our merchants have been doing is using the bounce back promos, i.e. when somebody comes in, signs in, to ask them if they're interested in getting a job. And so you can use our platform for multiple ways. And who better to reach out as new employees than the people who are familiar with your location and familiar and like what they get there. The other thing that does start to come together as more and more merchants use our Wi-Fi is once a consumer is logged into one, when they go across the street or up the block to another merchant who also has Wi-Fi, all of the merchants, everyone benefits from a mesh functionality. What that means is, from a consumer perspective, they don't have to log in to the second and third and fourth locations. It automatically logs them in. However, when they get logged in after 90 seconds, the second merchant gets that consumer information as well. So it's a great way to just create a seamless experience. And the more merchants that participate, the better. Any questions or comments on any of that? All right, so let's talk about Hownd Wi-Fi and costs here. Our normal standard rates are $39 a month per access point. And you can see 3 for $99, that sort of thing. However, here, as part of partnering with the city of Tucson, we're able to offer a special arrangement here, in that the first unit is provided at no cost, and each additional unit is only $19 per unit per month. So this is working with Barbara and the team at City of Tucson. We recognize the value that knowing your customer can help you drive new traffic and even hire people for your business. And we want to make it easy. And there's a special program here in place.
John, can you say why a merchant would need more than one unit? So what would one unit help them achieve? Is it a size of the business that matters? Tell me about that.
Yeah, good question there. Yeah, it's all about the size of the business. So a normal restaurant, a storefront typically would be one. I think it all depends upon the number of walls and the number of, so it's not like, oh, okay, 15,000 feet or smaller, it's one, anything between this and that. There's some variability to it. But one thing we do for most merchants is we found that one unit is a good start. Let's see how it goes. If you do find dead spots, then we can up that. When we work with, for example, roller skating rinks that have a big floor and everything, they tend to do 2 or 3 to get the coverage around the front desk, around the snack bar, and then out on the floor itself. So it all depends upon a number of factors, but one is it does work for about, I would say, at least 50% of merchants. One is sufficient.
And is there, if a merchant has a router already or is offering some kind of, Wi-Fi, what happens in that situation?
Sure, there's a choice there. Depending upon the access point, we work with a lot of the standard ones like Cisco, Meraki. There's a whole list on our website of the access points that we support. It just means essentially adding our platform to those existing points so that there's nothing hardware-wise that needs to be done. An alternative would be switch those out to the access points that can be provided as part of this program.
So in that case, is there a fee if you set up or work with someone's existing infrastructure?
Yeah, no, the way we do it is we try to keep it simple as well. So the same pricing applies here, whether we provide the access points or whether the access points are already in place. Technically, it's harder for us to get it meshed and working with existing points. But yeah, either way, we keep it simple here on the pricing side.
Perfect. So I see that we've got this special offer for the first 50 merchants. It looks like there's an urgency or those that are listening in to get sort of first opportunities, it sounds like too. As we just rolled this out, I think our press release on the program went out about a week or so ago. So what are your thoughts and how have you seen it working so far? Have you been rolling this out in other communities?
Oh yeah, we find that Wi-Fi is, for all the reasons we've mentioned, an important way to build understanding of the customer. So this is a pretty straightforward, a pretty straightforward program and a pretty straightforward technology. And the advantage here that we bring is just the way it's connected to the overall Hownd platform for that automated stuff. So we've seen great traction across different other cities, municipalities that we've worked with on this.
Awesome. Thank you.
And yeah, you're right. It's the first 50. And let me just see. Yeah, I forget, like, let's just skip that one. But what's key here is what's next. So on the what's next on the call here with me, I have my colleague, Brian Hernandez. Brian, you still there?
Yes, sir. Can you guys hear me?
Right. Yeah, I can hear you just fine. So Brian is the key contact. If you're interested in Wi-Fi, again, first one is no cost. And it's just part of the overall Hownd platform, which again is at no cost to merchants. So yeah, just reaching out to Brian would be the key next step here, and we'd be happy to work with you and
hey, John,
answer questions.
Can I jump in real quick, John? I just wanted to let everybody who's listening know, you know, if you're not doing this right now, you should at least give it a try.
Yeah, with our partnership here with the city of Tucson, we've tried to remove all of the impediments, any of the things that would give you a reason not to make it part of the program. So
yeah, the value add of collecting emails is just really on itself a tremendous opportunity, like you mentioned, to get to know your regulars. It's kind of a digital handshake, I like to call it.
And I think that's great. And what I'd like our businesses to know, and Brian, definitely, if you have video and you're able to hop on for a minute, I want people to see you, but because the idea is that the merchant is not left alone. Like describe for me, either Brian or John, some of the support that you provide the merchants, some of them that might be sitting on the fence and wondering, can they really handle this? Can they tackle it? How easy it is, and do you give some support or training for the merchant?
Brian, do you want that or should I?
No, you go ahead, since I'm kind of a rookie over here.
Yeah, sure. We have we have an onboarding team, an engagement team, and a customer support team. And those teams are all about helping you because, as we mentioned before, when it works for you, it works for us. We want there to be traffic coming through your doors. It's our business model. And so we want to work with you to make sure that you are doing the steps that will help the whole system move forward, and then guide you through that. Earlier, I think, Peggy, when you mentioned before, the promos and different, like sometimes different promos get better reception than others. So one of the things our team does is we work with you. We can try stuff. If it's not working, let's tweak it a little based upon the other things that we've seen work. So it's all about helping you succeed is what we're trying to do through all the different support channels we have.
And we make it easy. I mean, ultimately, once that conversation's been started and we have all the information that we need from you, then off you go back to running your business, and our company's going to, do the work for you.
Right. And I've seen in my own experience as a consumer using the app, after I've either claimed a coupon or, again, joined someone's list, I definitely have seen some emails come back to me, inviting me back and telling me what's new. And then also I've visited the merchant's website by going through the Hownd app. And the minute I go to their website, I get oftentimes a box will pop up and say about the buy now or the coupon offering. So I've seen it working, and I've enjoyed actually many of the ones that you've shown on the previous screens or folks that I've visited, and it's been great. And I've even used the buy now gift cards to give as employee gifts. I think it was a fun way to buy around the holidays or special celebrations. It's a great way to buy something local, and again support our merchants in that way. So I think that's another great option.
No, for sure.
So happy to take questions if anyone has that, or if you want me to unmute you. And I know I see Barbie in the audience as well. I don't know. Let me know if you want to say, to share your perspectives. Peggy, anything else from your perspective as to, have you seen the, I'm curious your feedback listening to the Wi-Fi option, if that's something that would be helpful in your business.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
The thing is, most of our clients will get here on time, or maybe 5 minutes before the session starts, and they so far none of them ask us for a Wi-Fi because they have no time for that, or maybe they're not sitting here for too long, so that we don't have anyone ask. And we are, sometimes we can only have 3 or 4 sessions a day. Sometimes we can run up to 12 or 13 sessions. So like I say, I have been here for 3.5 years, not one time asking for a Wi-Fi.
And that's true. The nature of the business. I can imagine the restaurants, John, are probably your bigger
They're
customers.
waiting for food. Yeah.
Because they are sitting there and maybe or having coffee, one of the coffee shops, and sitting there and interacting for a while. But you're right. You have a service-oriented business at the spa, and maybe again, very timely. You're better than most doctors' offices, right? Where we sit and wait there for a while. So I see Barbie's joined, and Barbie, if you'd like, feel free to turn your video. I think I can have you do your video, right? I've promoted you. And you had a question?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't have my lashes on, so I'm not gonna go on video. But like as a smaller store space, my store is about maybe 700 square feet. And I never thought about having Wi-Fi because it is a smaller space. So I really love that I was able to join in, because, some people want to come in and tag us on Facebook or check in, and then their Wi-Fi or their signal is bad. So then I can be like, oh, well, go ahead and connect. So I think it's just good to think about, because I really never thought about it. So it's super educational for me, and I'm definitely going to give it a try.
Awesome.
Yeah,
and did you Barbie? Go ahead.
Barbie, I've been in internet marketing for 15 years, and I never really even heard about this type of reinvesting into the customer, so it's pretty awesome stuff, and it's really neat product.
Yeah, just having a smaller space, you never think of all the things that you can do in the space.
Cost effective too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mention the name of your business, Barbie, and where you're located.
Oh, yes, I am located in the Tucson Mall, and my store is Barbie's Love for Lashes. It's an eyelash store, and people love to take selfies, take pictures, tag us and stuff. And they're like, oh, I got to do it when I get home. I don't have good signal in here. Or I wish you guys had this platform or that platform. So it just it's good, as a small business owner, just to be able to to connect and just have those tools to use too,
Yeah,
Great.
definitely being in a mall, that, as we've all seen with our own phones, having a big structure around us can interfere with cell phones. So yeah, helping that with your own Wi-Fi can solve that.
Yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
let's connect, Barbie. I'll be more than happy to speak with you.
Yes, please do.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
great, thank you. Any other questions? I don't see anything else in the chat right now, but I know that the great thing about this is that we've recorded, so we have it as a video and you can share it with others. And again, I mentioned it'll be on connecttucson.com by tomorrow afternoon. So that's a great thing. I'm looking here at any other pieces that I wanted to follow up with you on. I guess it's go time, right, John? There's no, how long does it take to set things up if someone wanted to get signed up?
Yeah, so essentially we have the access points in our office here in Tempe. So down in Tempe for me, but yeah, in Tempe. So we would just send those down. So a little bit of shipping time. And then in the ideal scenario, it's if you already have internet at your location, we would just be plugging in that device to an open port and it will be pre-configured and should be ready to go like that. So within a week or so with shipping times, but otherwise, yeah, a pretty straightforward timing here.
All right, fantastic. Well, I think we've covered it all. I do really want to appreciate the time you all have taken to share more about what we're up to and the opportunity for our small businesses to really build back their customer base using the Hownd and the MyHownd app. So thank you, John, and thanks, Brian, and welcome to the team.
Thank you, guys.
And send my regards to Eric. I'm sure he's in a very loud airport. Sometimes the airport noise just doesn't cooperate with
That's true.
our virtual meetings, but that's okay. We've got a lot of support and team on Hownd in terms of in the background, helping our merchants move these things forward. And so we're happy about that. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your
Awesome.
time.
Great. We're going to wrap up. We'll be back next month on Monday, October 25th at 3 p.m. Be sure to watch your inbox for the announcement and registration link, and we'll keep you connecting for success. Don't forget, you can call our City of Tucson Economic Initiative Small Business Assistance Line at 520-837-4100. You can also visit connecttucson.com for resources or sign up for our email newsletters and updates. And we want you to have a great afternoon. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.